jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Oh, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know Haynes Legacy is the first in the building. What's good with it, Haynes? Salute to your brother. Hope all is well coming your way, man. You already know. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. Salute. I see you on deck. What's good with it? We're going to get down to a hot topic that I see that I want to dice up a little bit. That's out here on the YTC. There's individuals, or too many of them at that, that's trying to downplay the fact that there's some movement, there's some activity going on in boxing like it always have. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. Winners don't always get the prize. But in this case, the liars are never going to find the truth because they ain't trying to, period. We talking about boxing business. That's what we talking about. We talking about business of boxing. We ain't talking about, sitting back talking about it, pretending like you have something to do. We talking about the actual business of boxing. The players at the table. That's who I want to try to talk about. I want to talk about the hitters, the shakers, the movers. From my understanding, shout out to Bug Unstop Canelo. Salute to you. He said, I'm sick of these people. And you know there's just the Spencer Canelo fans and fanboy channels that has a problem with him. I just don't have the energy to argue anymore. That's good. That's good. You don't have the energy because you got to know how to moderate that. That's all. Time release it. So we've been covering boxing long enough, been watching the sport, and we know there comes a point where administratively there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to making a fight. I've talked about this several times over several times. Just anybody cannot be a promoter. You have to have some type of funds to handle the site fee, the insurance for the fighters, pay for the fighters' room and board, their flight and all that. Make sure they're taken care of the whole time they're here and pay them their purse. So I'm like this. We've had certain individuals that chose to dabble over here in the U.S. They came on deck, i.e. the Zone back in the day. And as you remember, when the Zone first came on the scene, they was ranting and raving talking about Eddie Hearns did the Zone deal over $1 billion. And it wasn't quite that true because it was contingent on how everything worked out. But what I do understand about this business aspect, you have a lot of pretenders that's on here acting like they know how the process work. Now look, it's a lot that you can learn. People get degrees from doing online courses. I'm just saying, it's a lot that you can learn from being in front of a computer a lot. You know what I'm saying? But the real ones, they have to show up. The real ones that associate themselves or hold billets, holds positions at these promotions, they're on their feet. They're making phone calls before and then on fight week and everything else, they're definitely on their feet, right? So this what I don't want to get out of hand over here on the YTC is that I don't want anybody to be fooled by the 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 fakers that somehow, some way have a problem with Turkey Al-Sheikh presence over here in the sport. Because there have been plenty gripes and complaints about the promoters that's been over here longer than him. There's been promoters over here pissing y'all off for the longest of time. And you didn't say shit. PBC has fighters going over there to fight with Turkey Al-Sheikh, but all of a sudden those same pro PBC channels, they don't want to talk about it if it don't have anything to do with the name Errol Spence. But when you talk about numbers, right? Why y'all chose to be quiet? Cause he has Bud and support. Look, y'all showing y'all true colors, man, and proving to the people that y'all are trying to sound smart about the business aspect of boxing, but you don't want to talk about it as if how does everything flow with boxing. Y'all bitching and complaining about this man's finances when you don't have anything to do with it. You don't have nothing to do with his finances. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to this right here. You have to understand, minding your own business, you know what I'm saying, means a lot. What I mean is, what business do you have, though? Real talk, what business do you have? How have you built yourself up to be knowledgeable and educated on working from the top of the chain of command when it comes to such a hierarchy as boxing? For you to speak on this, right? That's all I'm saying. For you to speak on this, who have you been a part of besides, you know, all y'all listening to each other and talking this bullshit? What on the job experience can you vouch with a receipt? How are you moving in the sport that grants you permission to speak on what Turk Al-Sheikh is doing, and for you to speak on it as if you don't appreciate it, you don't like it? Who cares? Boxing has been in, you know, an up and down state of fluctuation for quite some time. The ebbs and flows of boxing is well documented. We've been on YouTube from the pandemic all the way up to now. When boxing was in the bubble, struggling, fighters were struggling to get something to eat. Struggling. They wasn't getting any stipend. They wasn't receiving any stipend, man, when the money wasn't there. And slowly but surely, boxing, the system has been crawling itself back up to a sustainable state where we can say, okay, it's functioning pretty decent right now. It seems to be stable. But I don't know. Turkey Al-Sheikh is putting on fights 1 minute that people want to see, right? And people are all happy when they're in Saudi Arabia, and it's Anthony Joshua and everybody else, you know, Tyson Fury, all these other people that's fighting. It's all good. But when the name Bud comes into play, some of you all have committed to not being true to yourselves, man. You're trying to convince the people that you have a problem with Turkey Al-Sheikh because of who he is as a person and what he's doing to the sport of boxing. How can he fuck up boxing any more than it's already fucked up? And how can you examine, where do you check the pulse of boxing? If you can tell me where you can check the pulse of boxing, I'll give you a payout, a lucrative payout. Tell me one place where you can check the pulse of boxing. Somebody, please. These cats talking about pockets that they'll never be able to be a part of. They'll never be able to have a conversation with this person on what purses these fighters are getting, that fighters are getting. But they always want to pick and choose and try to convince people that this is the number right here. They want to convince people that Crawford sold 100K. 100K, just 100K, y'all. Not 113K, not 150,000K, just 100K. And you ask these people, so where do you get this information from? They couldn't tell you. So since you can't tell me, I want you to try to explain how and where your experience came from again. How can I communicate with you to unfuck what you are trying to do? Like, you got to have a business somewhere, even if it's your personal space. How can you unfuck that? Because you out here lying to the people, telling them that all of a sudden boxing is at a strain. Turkey Al-Sheikh isn't good for boxing and all this other shit. What can he do that nobody else has been trying to do? I'll give you a perfect example. Certain individuals are worried about, are complaining about throwing a tantrum on how Turkey Al-Sheikh is putting on his fight cards, right? When he was throwing those fights over in Saudi, did you ever hear a boxer complain? You didn't hear nobody complain about no pay. Did you hear it? Did you hear one fighter complain about they didn't get paid? But over here in the U.S., you heard fighters and stuff, complain about not getting paid and money being on the back end and shit like that. But when them fights was going on over in Saudi, nobody was complaining about not getting paid. Nobody was complaining about the concerts they had, on how they had their whole freaking fight night day, the whole event set up. Nobody was complaining. They was really complimenting it, to be honest. They was sitting up there giving, Turkey Al-Sheikh his credit. But coming back to the old hating ass US of A, when he said he was gonna bring the card over here and Bud was gonna be the main event, all of a sudden, oh my God. Oh, it's the worst. Let me show you something. Y'all remember this, right? Do y'all remember this right here? Do y'all know who Len Pavlovnik is? One of the head guys at the Zone, the man. Do you know all the process that happened with the structure that they have over there with pay-per-view? You remember when this came out, the streaming service, and they said, the Zone, it's always going to be fucked up because of the structure. They don't do pay-per-views. They do this, and this. The structure is fucked up over there in London. The structure is fucked up. Their pay-per-view, they're not going to be able to compete with the U.S. So we're not going to really count their numbers. They was having all these tit for tat on what was going on with Eddie Hearns and how he wouldn't be able to make it over here in the U.S. And he's pretty thorough. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what he has to do, right? But the Zone lost $2.3 billion in 2021. Now, of course, they have other collateral sports and everything that they support. But the reason why I'm taking you through this, because they're in the billions supporting other services, where over here in the U.S., you have individuals that was busy up here complaining and thinking that Showtime was going to be around forever and a day. And they will zip their lips and line it with Gorilla Glue before they talk about why Showtime actually left. Who was responsible for that? And since Crawford was responsible for beating that ass and allowing the tower to say, Showtime, you're cleared for takeoff, over. They gave Showtime wings out. You know what I'm saying? Wings out, landing gear in. They're gone. Because the only thing Crawford had to do was go in there and take the orders and lay down. Showtime would have did a rematch. It's a lot of people lost some money on that. It's a lot of people lost money on that. But they say rights cost at the London-based company pronounced the Zone, which is DAZN, just spelling it out for you, soared to $1.9 billion in 2021 from $1.2 billion the year before. Okay, according to accounts shared by the company with Bloomberg, In an interview, Chief Executive Officer Shea pointed to the massive investment that year to acquire Italian and German soccer rights. These individuals are dealing with high dollar. And one of the primary reasons why I'm sending you through this is because I just want you to see the numbers. You have people that deal with boxing. And if I go through this article, right, you have these voices complaining about Turkey Al-Sheikh's numbers. But the Zone, who dibbles and dabbles into the streaming part of boxing, they are dealing with multiple other facets of freaking sports. As you go through this article, you won't see them talk shit about no motherfucking boxing, because they done lost so much money off boxing. It's been noted that the Zone has lost. The Zone, when it comes to the title, y'all, have lost billions in their multiple areas. Billions. But you have these embryonic, rudimentary gossipers, these tyros, these individuals that choose to think that a microphone is all they need to build up their experience. That has been proven to be false, because it's been individuals that chop, it has a lot to say on here, but when they go to a fight week, they can't even line up a proper media coverage. It's not important. All they care about is jumping online and doing freaking super chats. But when you take them to a fight week and it's like, go ahead, do what you got to do, they don't know what to do. They don't know certain places to go. They don't know who to talk to. They don't know any of that, y'all. When it comes to the big dollar bills that Turkey Al-Sheikh is dealing with, we're talking about millions on top of millions for him to finance history. No other promoter has a picture. No other promoter has invited all these boxing legends into one central location. No other promoters did that. But you're complaining about something that's irrelevant, foolish. You're complaining about numbers that you have no influence about. None whatsoever. You have no influence with these numbers. And I'm trying to ask, why would you exhaust and waste your time once again on something you can't change? 8 financial accounting skills for business success. Who needs financial skills? Some of us, a lot of us do. We require financial skills just to have to maintain our bills. But some of you probably have your girl or your wife handle everything. Hey, babe, can you do that? Just too much trouble for me. You know, you was good at math in high school and everything and all that. Can you just handle the bills for me? You know what I'm saying? College degrees do what they supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Reading financial statements, right? This right here. Reading financial statements to gauge a company's financial health, right? Whether it's your own, your employer, or a potential investment, there's no better place to start than its financial statements. These documents contain a wealth of information that can inform everything from budgeting and product development to business strategy and decision making. My question to those of you that's talking about Turkey Al-Sheikh, have you yourself, were you allowed access to financial statements? Have you just seen one financial statement to validate all these numbers that you keep putting out here? I don't know. You haven't really produced that screenshot. I want you to convince me that when you talk these numbers, produce financial statements. Produce these documents that contain a wealth of information. I want to see them, and a lot of other people wants to see them. If you cannot do this, be quiet. Leave it alone. You're not educated enough. There are many types of financial statements you should familiarize yourself with. Among the most important are balance sheets. These documents provide information about companies' book value and tally all the organization assets, liabilities, and owners' equity. Have you seen any of these so-called unemployed CFOs produce you balance sheets, people? I'm just curious. I'm just asking a very peaceful question. I wanna get to the core. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do. I want to get to the core of this shit. We have all these people talking about Turkey Al-Sheik's pockets and what he's doing over here in the U.S. and they have a problem with it and how much money. 10 million? He probably got that back before he got back to the crib. But have they produced you a balance sheet yet? What about income statements? I know these should be very, very easy for you to access. These documents, also known as profit and loss statements or P&Ls, detail how a company made and spent money for a given reporting period. Have you all out there that's talking this talk, have you been able to produce an income statement? Because me and a lot of other people will want to review the details along with you on how a company made and spent money. I want to see how much Turkey Al-Sheikh spent for these for the fighters that's under his charge and the matchmakers. And I really like to know, starting with Saudi Arabia. I really like to see those numbers. I really like to see those numbers and see what they look like. Be able to just hold one of those income statements in my hand and just marvel. Wow, I just never thought I'd hold this much money in my hand. So you're saying you all spent this for one fight week? God damn. That's a lot of, man. Now I know what they was talking about when they made the song, commas. And then next, there's cash flow statements. Okay? For all you so-called unemployed experts out there, these documents offer a look into a company's cash flow from operating, investing, and financing activities. Can you produce a cash flow statement? I'm asking you respectfully, is it any document that you can present to me that deals with investing in the financial activities over there with Turkey Al-Sheikh? Balance sheets, income statement, cash flow statements. I would definitely like to see the annual reports. Wouldn't you, people? The annual reports summarize a business economic activity for the prior year, while also using storytelling to convey its progress toward initiatives and goals. I would definitely be amazed if I can just see one screenshot where they allowed you to see their annual report to pretty much base the narrative that you out here pushing and back it up with receipts. That's all I want to see. I don't want to go off the hearsay no more, but I want to see an annual report because I want to see how much money they actually lost. That's all I want to do. I want to see if they actually gave a damn, first of all. I would like to be in the room with some of these people going over the annual reports and kind of ask them why did they how did they come to making this much money here, and then how it coincides with the amount of money spent. You know what I'm saying? All the money spent on the cumulative fighters that they had. And what was the end result at the end of the day? Were they in the black or the red? Were they in the black or the red? I would just like to know along with everybody else. That's all. So when I'm hearing you talk, I would expect for you to have these financial statements at your availability, at my availability. You know what I'm saying? I would like to have them available for review. If you don't have these statements for review, then I'm not going to believe what you're talking about with all these numbers. Seriously, I can't believe you. If you have no finance skills inside of Riyadh season with Turkey Al-Sheikh, are you sitting at the table? Are you the one they call to analyze financial statements? Do they ask you about the financial metrics? The spikes and the spikes and the drops, the declines? Do they ask you about the monetary declivity on why that particular, drop happened? Who was on the show? Do they ask you to come up with resolutions so it won't happen again? I don't think so. Generating financial statements. And most organizations, members of the accounting department and executive suite are responsible for creating financial statements. That being said, for entrepreneurs and those working in a startup environment, the duty of creating these essential documents might fall on them. Are you all generating financial statements internal to Riyadh season? I doubt it. Because every time I come on this motherfucker, y'all are in front of the computer. So y'all definitely not taking no trips over to freaking Saudi. Y'all definitely not taking any trips over there, bro. Can y'all provide us with the upcoming fight cards that Turkey Al-Sheikh is talking about having? Can y'all give us a financial forecast once the card is put out, generated, and the matchmakers are completed and it becomes official? Is there any way you can give us a financial forecast on what you project with the expenses being with Turkey Al-Sheikh, how much they're going to have for out-of-pocket expenses, how much is going to be put into the actual fight card, the totality of the expenses, and then what you, on the proceeds you expect them to make on the back end when the fight is all said and done and the numbers come in? I want to know if you can give me a financial forecast. Then I will raise the meter of respect for you actually knowing your job as an expert. Right now, you just a YTC voice out here just chit-chattering, just pushing, narratives with no substance, no receipts. Do you have the understanding on calculating return on investment? Do they come to you for that? For the ROI, return on investment? Do they come to you? I'm just trying to see what level am I working with, because if you're handling all these type of administrative duties right here, I'm really in the presence of somebody special. That's all. Because in order for you to continue to complain about what Turkey Al-Sheikh is spending over here in boxing, as if you have some type of stock, as if you're holding stock value on Wall Street, like you are a primary player, I would definitely like to know if you're holding down or you are the one who's drafting up these documents at the table. I really would, man. I really like to know if you're rocking like that. God damn. I will have to give you a mad salute. For real. For real, man. I just want you to understand the language of finance. Virtually all business professionals can benefit from learning the language of finance. The language of finance is not you coming over here talking about what you don't like about somebody else spending a budget that you're not even in control of. You're not even at the table as an accountant. They do not have you as a name tag, Chief Financial Officer, Scotty White. Scotty, if you could stand up, please. Yes. If you can report to Turkey Al-Sheikh the numbers that we generated off that last card over there at the BMO Stadium, I would appreciate it. And also, you say you brought an assistant today. Okay, he checks all the boxes and everything. He's just a person that you know on the watch. No, we can't allow him at the table. He has to be well qualified. It'd be okay. Leave him out there. Can you please start? Please begin. We're short on time. Hurry up. Are you doing that? I mean, are you basically the one that's sitting at the table going through all these process? Because if you are, I would definitely like to kind of tune in a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Because I know over time, developing your financial accounting skills is imperative. It's very, very imperative. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you cats, just like I said, if you prefer to go through self-taught route, because a lot of these cats believe they're self-teaching, you can find a wealth of information online to build foundational financial knowledge. Hey, a lot of them goofballs are doing that shit on the YTC, man. They're calling themselves self-taught. Hey, nobody can't fuck with me and my financial knowledge because I'm self-taught. That's what I am. I'm self-taught. So I have the ability to speak on Turkey Al-Sheikh's finances. No, you don't. You don't have any right to speak on his finances. You know what I'm saying? You don't. It goes on to say articles, videos, and books from trusted, reliable sources are a great place to start. You can also access most public companies' financial statements to practice your skills, which are reported on a quarterly basis. And this is why it was important for me to read that, because I want you all to start producing financial statements. They say you can also access most public companies. Is the company over there in Saudi public enough to you all? Because you all are speaking like you're worldwide. So if you're worldwide, global, just like I say for Toby, it's better to be global than just local. If you are global and you have access to these companies' financial statements, can you please present them in a live stream? You know what I'm saying? Can those of you out there all collaborate together and produce these things and have a financial law us what you have learned since you're working with Turkey Al-Sheikh that gives you the right to comment on what they're spending over there? Can you please do that? Because right now it just seems like you're practicing. That's all. It seems like you're pretty much practicing. It said, on the other hand, perhaps you learn best. Check this out. Pay attention, y'all. Pay motherfucking attention. On the other hand, perhaps you learn best with a more structured format, such as a course, workshop, or boot camp. Okay? Now, that's where it gets a little bit complex, because myself and my colleagues always suggest and recommend that a lot of these channels go to fights so they can learn per experience on deck, on site. You know what I'm saying? So you can learn. Shout out to Shaw News. You know, he's a manager, a boxing manager now. You know, I think he has 2 to 3 regions, you know, that he's locked in for. He can manage fighters. You know what I'm saying? He's already locked into a team with future champions on it. So therefore, he's not just being online and saying, oh, well, I'm self-taught. He's connecting, he's networking. He's doing things to build up his clientele. So when it comes time to, you know, move these fighters around in rotation, he's able to try to make fights happen with his fighter, they fighter, and all that. But when it comes to structured format, such as a course, workshop, or boot camp, that's why a lot of these cats, they run, because they don't want to put forth the effort to really become official. And that's what I respect about Shaw News. He is official for a long time. Then a lot of you cats out here, when it comes to roles that you have in boxing, official. You say, if you're a newly appointed manager, we're not talking about boxing manager, we're talking about in finances. We're back on finances. If you're a newly appointed manager who wants to refresh your financial knowledge, an entrepreneur gearing up to launch, a recent college graduate, a working professional considering an MBA, or someone who simply wants to develop your skills quickly, you may benefit from a more structured approach. Now, once again, if you're talking about a more structured approach, it's going to cause you to not be as frequent as you are online. You're going to have to show up, and you have to make yourself available at these fights and stuff like that. If you're talking about boxing, because I'm going to tell you like this. I even put it out to people when a certain fight was happening. You know what I'm saying? A certain fight was going down, and they was over here talking about, oh man, so-and-so is gonna fight this person and that. I was like, no, I actually spoke to his manager. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? That's not the case. You know? And at the time, it was Peter Kahn. Peter Kahn is not George Kambosos' manager no more. And, you know, from my understanding, per public record, you know, money is owed. We're talking about finances, right? But anyway, you know, that's what I was trying to just make a note of. When you go to these fights, you can hear things off record. They can talk to you off record. And I knew that Kambosos wasn't going to fight Devin Haney first. They had their eyes on Lomachenko. But see, for the public, all they wanted to do is think about what was bringing them views and shit. You know what I'm saying? They never had no, you know, they never planned on fighting Devin Haney first. It was going to be Lomachenko, and then Lomachenko had to go. But anyway, this is all about the finance, and you know, it wasn't meant for me to make you feel, you know, humiliated or anything. Feel like you better go, you know, enroll in a college course or something and work on your undergrad. I'm not giving you goals to shoot for with Harvard Business School online. Oh, I'm not telling you to be a Harvard grad. Why would I push you to do something I haven't done? But I do have a college degree. I do. You know what I'm saying? It's not in finance either. I'm going to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, I'm challenging you all for those balance sheets, income statements, cash flow statements, annual reports. If you're going to speak on Turkey Al-Sheikh's finances, I want you to produce statements so we can know that they have authenticity, that the numbers are accurate. I'm not going to say I'm tired of hearing, because I'm not. I just don't pay attention to it. When y'all come out with these numbers and they want to be so low to make a certain fighter look some type of way. Nobody's believing that. Well, they shouldn't believe it. There are some casual boxing fans up here that do. But no one should believe these bogus, fraud, disingenuous numbers that come out that's never accurate. When it's a fighter that they like, they boost the numbers up several 100,000. When it's a fighter they don't, they want to go to the lowest. As you saw Penis Head say, when Crawford fight Avanesian, he reported that an MMA dude said it was 5K. What's his authenticity? How much credibility does he have? How much credibility does he have to report that he only did 5K pay-per-view in his hometown? But no one want to hold these cats accountable. They just want to go along with the flow. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about anything else. You know what I'm saying? They just want to sit up here and go off what's fun, what's delightful to talk about. But for me, I'm looking at it like this. This is blurry for a reason, because most of the time, a lot of these cats don't understand that some of it's none of their business. If you really can't dive into the wickets, like if you don't have that personal exclusive access to these guys like Turkey Al-Sheikh to talk numbers in a sidebar conversation, then stop spreading the agitprop over here on the YTC. Just let it shit go. Because what you're doing is contaminating good media. You putting out fake news and trying to spread it like you know what you're talking about. And then I ain't gonna lie, they got some listeners out here that's not really smart, for real. They got some listeners out here that don't give a damn about being people that's considered below the average intelligence. They'll listen to a motherfucking lie and they'll be in the chat just typing away. Oh, facts. Facts. Yeah, facts. You're right. He did do 100K. Facts. Turkey did lose millions. Oh my God. Let me put this out there too. Let me switch it up just a little bit. If there have been fighters, okay, that's been contending in other countries for years, decades, and Turkey Al-Sheikh has the budget to bring them over on his side, and we have to be, once again, we have to be conditioned for the change. You know what I'm saying? We have to be conditioned for the change. We experienced a lot of change in boxing. But if Turkey Al-Sheikh is going up here, being able to manipulate BoxRec, or going over here wanting fights to be over in Saudi, and he's paying for it, and the fighters are getting paid to go over there and fight, right? So what's the problem? It's been fighters going in other fighters' backyard all the time. Didn't Devin Haney fight twice, back to back in Australia? You imagine? Did they ever think they might get robbed? Did they ever think they might get robbed? What, did they have the Boerchuck-itis? Seriously. So if Turkey Al-Sheikh wants to have fights over there in Saudi, what are you going to do about it? You actually have zero contribution to the budget. You're not, once again, at the table planning this shit or nothing. You all need to cease lying as if a person that's willing to make changes in boxing, which is tough to do, but he's bringing on Top Rank, Queensberry, Matchroom, all Golden Boy, PBs, all these people to work with him. And he's working with the UFC. And you think it's smart of you to sit up here and talk about a tear in the bucket? You think it's wise for you to talk about a tear in a fucking bucket? Like it's gonna overflow one fucking tear. Do you know what a little several $1 million is to them? Nothing. They knew what it was like once they chose this venture. Boxing ain't never been, oh, I'm going in this, I'm going to make all this money. Let's talk about the financial statements like I said earlier, like I asked you earlier. Can you provide financial statements? They should be public record, right? Do you see Top Rank's financial statements, PBC? Are y'all able to pull those and provide us with a full-blown workshop? Orientation? Is there any way y'all can retrieve this documentation and teach us? You should be able to see it from Golden Boy, PBC, Top Rank, Matchroom. Is there any way you can pull those documentation for the last, let's just go back to 2021. Is there any way you can pull up the annual reports? Real talk. Can you give us a workshop on balance sheets that you know, the shit you found out from these promotions? Can you give us a spreadsheet, a pie chart, a graph of 2021, 22, and 2023? We need to see the income statements, the cash flow statement, the annual reports, everything that coincides with what you out here preaching. That's all I want you to do. That's all I want you to do to build up your credibility. Right now, all this number talk and you thinking it's because of one fighter, you sound stupid. You sound stupid talking about another man's pocket when boxing, certain promoters have been losing money for years. You had promoters come over. You had networks attach themselves to boxing. Are y'all going to be able to access the sheets to HBO? Why can't y'all access that? What about Showtime? They still fairly fresh. I'm pretty sure you go out there in the street, you can smell the fumes coming from the engines. It ain't been that long since they took off, huh? Seriously. You probably still can get some pictures. Oh, there goes Showtime, man. I'm going to miss Showtime. Wow, I love having them on deck. I love that network. Damn, they really gone, huh? Shit. Can you provide us with some sheets from Showtime Network? Can you provide us with an entire breakdown on why Showtime left? Since Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing such a bad job over here. Is Turkey Al-Sheikh the reason why Showtime left? I'm curious to know. Really, I am. I love being educated. If I feel that a person is a dummy and they're gonna prove me wrong, then I want to see if I can be educated on some shit that I didn't know. Maybe I'm dumb in that area. But I just want to know. Can you provide me, please, with these particular financial statements, since you all want to claim to be experts, ones who are self-taught? You are self-taught with your expertise. Can you provide me with those financial statements and do a live with whoever's your co-ops, you know what I'm saying, your constituents? Can y'all please do a collabo together and break this shit down per PowerPoint prez? All I'm trying to do is get us educated. Because when you go live talking about Turkey Al-Sheikh and the money he lost on a fight card, I want to be able to tell somebody, hey man, that shit real, dog. The motherfuckers real with it, dog. They broke that shit down to the T. They broke it down to the T, nigga. That shit real. Yeah. On the nose, that shit is all the way to the last penny. All the way down to the last penny. I'm telling you, they accurate. No, you're never going to get that out of me because I know y'all full of it. Y'all full of it, man. You all are not able to produce these financial documents. You just playing a part where you're in costume and you're trying to dress up like you really know about the finances of Turkey Al-Sheikh. And stop with the freaking whining already. Stop with the fucking bitching and complaining and whining about what he's doing in boxing. It's been a lot of other people. Look, listen. Don't try to act like you happy with everything that's been going on here with boxing for years at a time. But yet you so easily to complain about Turkey Al-Sheikh. Wasn't y'all the same ones up here? Oh, man, you know what, man, Crawford don't need to see no books. Why would a fighter ever have to fight for net pay if motherfucking the promoters was doing everything at the highest tier? Why are boxers always complaining about money, what they're getting paid for fights, what this fighter is and what that fighter isn't making? Because it's always been in that state of concern. It's always been concern. It's always been confusion. It's always been like that in boxing. And you know, Turkey Al-Sheikh is not the one to come over here and doing anything different that's bad for the sport. You all are just trying to find anything and everything, and really borderline trying to make it about, you know, being racially insensitive, because you're trying to act like they're coming over here trying to take over something that no one had control over to begin with. That is just stupid. You're pretending like he's coming over here to the U.S. and taking boxing away when boxing is a global fucking sport, you dummy. How is he taking over anything when you had many people that's able to eat off the fruits, eat the fruits of boxing, eat off the dang fruit, eat off the tree of life, all the branches that was bearing fruit for boxing? Everybody can come in with their own freaking promotion and their venues and this, that, and the other, you know, request their license, submit their license and application and all that to be this, that, and the other, and have fight cards all over the place, all over the regions. But all of a sudden, Turkey Ali Sheik is coming over here, and he go to a region, not even Las Vegas. He goes to BMO Stadium and put on a fight card. Packed. The house is fucking packed, yo. The house is goddamn packed, man. Yes. Up here pretending that you had a team, a special selective team there with clickers in their hand, clicking every freaking body that entered the arena. You had a team that was over this entire national network of security, an NSA special task force, that you was able to witness every pay-per-view that was purchased for this freaking fight. And you was able to provide a final number. You was able to provide a final number to notate that on all your financial statements on how many pay-per-views was actually bought for that particular fight. Being that Crawford wasn't the only fight on there, okay? Crawford wasn't the only fight on that card. But you all are trying to pretend like he lost Turkey. Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. Who am I to be an adult and not tell you, as you are an adult, that you sound like you're losing it? You sound like you need some prescriptions. Real talk. What the fuck are y'all talking about, man? How can you sit up here and be well within yourself to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm out there spreading some bullshit. Why do I have my hand in Turkey Ali Sheik's pocket? What are you really there to do? Because you not, I mean, come on, bro. Why are all you getting on this little bandwagon and acting like a bunch of bitches in a cheerleading squad, waving your pom-pom? Turkey's bad, rah, rah, rah. Turkey's bad, rah, rah, rah. He's bad for business. Turkey's bad for business. Man, stop the whole shit. Stop the whole shit, bro. Y'all don't know a motherfucking thing about financial literacy when it comes to the highest level such as that. You don't have a seat at the fucking table, yo. Stop pretending like you got a seat at the table. Stop grabbing motherfucking gum from under the desk and saying, you know what? I'm feeling smart today. If I can chew this old ass gum, I don't know who did it, but if I can be a G and chew this old ass gum from underneath the desk, I can be a financial advisor. I don't need no MBA. I'm special. Because anybody can go through what I just did. I put an old piece of gum in my mouth. I'm going to grab another one and do that shit. Motherfucker don't take risks like me. I'm taking risks. I don't know if this gum was placed here in 2020. I don't know if it has some, can COVID even survive in the motherfucker? Okay, I'm good. Yeah, man, I got my vaccine. You know, I'm good. Stop trying to play the people out here, bro. You all don't have a seat at the table. You never will have a seat at the table. So stop trying to pretend like Turkey Ali Sheik is doing something bad for boxing because he's making fights. If he want to take fights all the way over to his backyard, so be it. Fighters have fought in other countries so many times before now. How can Devin Haney fight twice in Australia? Why? Because that's what was on the contract. That was on the contract. Did Crawford have to go over there and fight Ricky Burns? Was he in Omaha when he fought Ricky Burns? Was Spence, was he in Texas when he fought Kell Brook? Where was Ali and Frazier at? I'm just saying, like, it's been fights. Big time fights in other countries. But all of a sudden, Turkey al-Sheikh has these motherfuckers just making up shit. You know what I'm saying? Really got too much time on their hand. If you was a fly on the wall, these motherfuckers would be goddamn digging in their nose, eating the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying, looking around, trying to come up with some shit. It's right on the tip of my tongue. God damn, it's right on the tip of my tongue. God damn, let me see, what can I come up with? Turkey didn't have enough money to fly first class. Somebody seen him in a kind of, they ain't gonna believe that shit. Let me see, god damn. Turkey was staying at the La Quinta. Nah, they ain't gonna believe that shit. He was staying at an Airbnb when he was in LA. Man, they're not gonna believe none of that shit, y'all. I'm demanding that you stop the bullshit. Stop talking about this man's pockets. Talk about your pockets. Talk about how it's easy for you all to push a narrative, but you won't get in a motherfucking vehicle and plan to go to a fight week and see what the experience is like. Talk about that. If you are one of those people that cannot plan an entire fight week to go to a card as media and cover fighters and get a couple of interviews or something, stop talking about like finances. Stop talking about, because you don't know the ins and outs of how it is on a fight card. It don't matter how many lives you do behind the microphone. You have to take your ass there at a fight card and see what the motion is like. See what the activity's like. Everybody you talk to, you're not going to pull out your phone and record them. The good shit is off record. The really good shit, communicate with people, is off record. You get to see some things that you think that was across the board, but you find out it's not always like that. It's not uniform. You see some really crazy shit that happen, like, there's no way the commission is allowing this to happen. Yes, for real. But I thought when I used to hear, they started naming off all these channels. When so-and-so used to say this and that and all, man, them motherfuckers ain't never been to a fight consistently. They don't know what the shit like. They just up here talking about they self-taught. That's why I'm here to try to goddamn detox your ass from hearing all that pollution. Hopefully you all have learned something. And it's up to me to give you the fair warning. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Fair Use Act. I'm trying to give you the fair warning so you can be more aware and vigilant when your ears are tuned in to some of these channels who now want to talk about another entity that has one of the largest, deepest budgets ever participating in boxing. I mean, goddamn, UFC been over there making moves all day long. Nobody's been talking about how Pride dissolved. They don't talk about how many organizations that UFC has bought out and how people saying they monopolizing everything and all that. Nobody's talking about how Turkey al-Sheikh is working with the UFC too. So if goddamn it, he's working with boxing and he's working with the UFC at UFC 306 also, you think he gives a fuck about this little penny, this little tear in the bucket millions that y'all keep talking about? Why do you do that to yourselves? If you consider yourself to be a decent human being in life, why are you up here lying to yourself first? Don't you supposed to take care of you? Manage it, maintenance properly? Why are you up here lying to the people and you are the host? He's working with Dana White and the UFC on the 306 card outside of boxing, and y'all over here talking about I mean, come on, you up here sounding like Morris Cole and shit. That bullshit you be putting out here. The bullshit, bro. Y'all trying to make it seem like, oh man, come over here, he losing money over here. So has everybody else been losing money. So has everybody else that dabbles in the sport of boxing. Y'all want to talk like every pay-per-view, they're making crazy money. That's not the case, and you know it ain't the case. That is not the case, man. They go in here with the understanding, knowing that there's risk, period. Boxing has been in existence for so long that the template has been there forever and a day. The standard operating procedure has been there over and over again. You can't all of a sudden say one of the richest people that's making his presence, injecting himself into the scope of boxing is bad for boxing. What's bad for boxing is that you don't really hold yourself accountable and y'all don't have no integrity. That's what's fucked up for you reporting on boxing. Y'all rather spread lies, the same lies y'all spread on Crawford when he was heading into the spin. Same way y'all lie on these boxers, Deontay and all them other fighters, right? Now you're lying on a person just because you're still motherfucking spotting and you didn't put your motherfucking pad on from the damn Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford T-Mobile massacre. That's why you mad. You mad because you messed up your favorite white shorts and you was up there walking and people was looking at you and you was like, man, I must be looking good. They got my fresh cut. No, you need to check that right there. You need to check. All right there. Yeah. Go look in the mirror, dog. Damn. Still stressing about that shit. Still spotting like a bitch. God damn. I thought that shit was over. Still spotting like a bitch. Goddamn, Errol, why you just couldn't have won? Oh, man, these blood pressure medicine. Oh, my God, it's just too much. I'm serious. They still mad. Now that Crawford's come full circle and he has the support, the financial machine behind him, they really can't use the narrative as if they're going to talk for what the promoter should do. You notice that? When he was leaving Top Rank, there's a whole nother damn story. Daniel Cunningham, whole nother story. And then what he should do when he get the PBC. Gets over the PBC, gets a 2 fight, and you know what happened July 29th. And then they can't talk about Turki Ali Sheik and what he should do and what Crawford. They don't know shit. They can't give you no financial statements. They don't know shit. They know nothing. So now what they're going to try to do is talk ill about this guy, which has no effect on him, none at all, just because he's the machine behind Terrence Crawford to get these fights. It's nothing they can say ever to any one of us about what we witnessed. They talk all that freaking defamation and smear campaign, and they couldn't stop that ass whooping. They couldn't stop him from going in there, moving up a division and getting those belts. No matter what the shit they was talking. Now they still haven't learned. It's just like beating a goddamn stepchild. After a while, they just come back and do the same fucked up shit just to feel the pain. They don't get it, y'all. They don't get it. These motherfuckers up here, they don't hold themselves accountable. They'll sit up here and tell their kids to be the best and be the strongest and be a leader and set the examples for others to emulate in life. And then they online just living a double life. Let me look to the left. Let me look to the right. Okay, I feel good. My belly's full. It's time to lie. It's time to lie. It's time to lie, y'all. It's time to lie. It's time to lie, y'all. It's time to lie. Get down, it's time to lie, y'all. Let's get down to it. It's time to lie. It's time to lie. It's time to... Man, stop it. Stop it now. Stop it. Let me get to the chat, man. Let me get to the motherfucking chat. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, man. You know what I'm saying? The OG Mr. Golden on deck. Salute to you. Shout out to Chastity in the building. I see you. Shout out to Jessica. Boxing Queen in the building. Conquest on deck. Have their logo on almost every event produced this year. Hey, man. Hey, man, you know we got to... What I asked that Conquest, I need some financial statements. Fuck the bullshit there. Man, I don't want to hear nothing else, man. I want to start seeing financial documentation. They say you can access it, right? If they're up here spraying all that other shit all the time about, oh, this pay-per-view only did this, I don't want to hear no Carpenters, no Idix, no Dan Raphaels and all that shit. They never produced who gave them the info, bro. Never. Shout out to AU in the building. We're giving some begging for donations, super chats to keep them lights on. Hey, man, they busy up here talking about other people's pockets when they're up here pleading. You know what I'm saying? I'll participate in the Hunger Games. They got the Hunger Games. And what's the cash prize? Okay, I'll be there. Where's it going to be again? You know, man, stop it, bro. Arnold Brown on deck. What's good with it, bro? 10 million lost, 100K pay-per-views. Those numbers are suspicious. You know, that's all I'm saying. Produce financial documentation. You know what I'm saying? Give us the balance sheets, the income statements, the cash flow statements, the annual reports. That's what we want. If you want us to shut up, then produce that. Produce it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy, the MACKMOBB. The Mac Mob is in the building. What's good with it, B-Mac? Salute to you. Definitely check out his channel and support the brother. You already know what it is, man. JD in the building. Salute to you. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Another channel you should definitely check out. A man that got the motion. You know what I'm saying? He got the motion in the business. The News by Shaw News Sauce Experience. You know what I'm saying? Double interview on deck today. Make sure you go over there and check him, check out his interviews and sub to the channel. You know what I'm saying? The Mac Mob, the News by Shaw News Sauce Experience. And if I ain't told you, brother, you know, big congrats on, you know, getting those manager license. You know, doing your thing as always. You know, advancement is everything. If you don't have the initiative, you don't have the hunger and the drive to make it happen, it ain't. That's how you vet on your channel when you don't go to fights and you feel like your YouTube boxing channel moves the needle. Y'all not foreign affairs officers either. Hey, they think they NSA, man. You know what I'm saying? For real. D-Lo, what's good? Salute to you. I don't know how anyone could complain about Turkey. He's making fights happen. The Saudi royal family are spending their oil money on boxing. Nobody should complain. No, man, when you got hating ass motherfuckers, man, that can't let it go. You know what I'm saying? They can't let it freaking go, bro. They cannot let it go. They don't want to let the jealousy and the hate go. This is crazy. How can you despise a fighter so much based off boxing talk? This is all boxing talk. How can you have that much disdain for a fighter, yo, that you never broke bread with? You and that fighter has never been able to communicate on a personal level. How can you allow your body to generate another portion of stress that affects you? Because you're the human being. You're the one that's here. You're the one that's talking. Obviously, you're affected enough to get on a live stream and tell a motherfucking bold-faced lie. A bold-faced lie. Lost 10 million. How is it just 10 million? Where's the financial statements? If you cannot produce the statements, I'm advising you to shut the fuck up. Don't nobody want to hear that shit no more. Y'all up here putting out false information and you cannot produce one freaking statement. Not one. You can't produce no statements. You're not at the table. Once again, you're not recognized. When they start talking about this type of detailed information about finances, they're not calling you up. I will say, why don't you screenshot where you're getting a call from Turkey Al-Sheikh on the bat phone, and he's about to pay all expenses and put you on a PJ and fly you over exclusively, you know what I'm saying, just to talk motherfucking numbers. Hey, We have you here to see how we can raise our numbers when it comes to the revenue earned. You know what I'm saying? Um, I know you've been to several fights. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, yeah, we would like to hear what you have to say. We've been around the game for quite. They're not calling me up. They're not calling any one of us that's listening in. They're not calling us up, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're not calling us up. Bruce Gas, what's good? The OG in the building. Salute. Al Heyman blew $1 billion. Why he not talking about his books? See, here we go, man. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? I forgot there are some people in the chat that's basically integrated with certain companies. You know what I'm saying? That's doing matchmaking, who's managing fighters and everything like that, who actually has circulation. You know how they talk about blood circulation? You actually have circulation in the sport. You know, I'm just saying, there's some people out there, like I said, you know what I'm saying? Shaw News is one of them. Promoters, I know your secret of hiding behind a 3-tier business relationship. They don't even know the logistics of putting a fight card together. They don't care about the logistics, brother. They just want to come over here and goddamn talk shit. You know what I'm saying? They just want to talk shit over and over again every time a fight happens, and it's a fighter that they don't favor. They want to talk about low ass numbers. And that goes up to Carpenter and Raphael. No, they're guilty of that shit too. They're biased as shit too. They may get some news relief first on some other information, but the numbers, they're not accurate. They're not accurate. 100K, really? You trying to tell me after what he did to Spence, people don't know who he is still? They still trying to say he's not a ticket seller? Boxing is an unregulated sport, absolutely. So what does that say about the sport? Who's running the sport? Who is the governing body? Who is the person that you submit your grievance to if you don't like how a freaking decision happened and something that went down that you consider malicious at a fight card? And then just like Shanu said, they don't even know the logistics of putting a fight card together. Man, come on, all this microphone action, bro. It's a lot that you learn. I'm not saying you can't learn about boxing online. You can't be self-taught when it comes to your general knowledge. I'm not saying you cannot build up your mental archive. You know, when it comes to learning about the sport. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to that other layer, that other side that you just don't get access to off credentials, the education level changes now. There's shit you have to sign up for. It's people you have to meet. I mean, your contact list has to be different. You have to go meet and greet. You know what I'm saying? You have to communicate with these people. He said the video was Photoshop. Salute the Boxing Conversation, Reggie Owens, man. Be sure to check him out. You know what I'm saying? Be sure to check out Boxing Conversation, Reggie Owens. Definitely support his channel. Yeah, man, Turkey bad. How Turkey all of a sudden for a sport that's unregulated, but all of a sudden these cats want to come out here acting like it has morals and principles. You know what I'm saying? Boxing has core values when it comes to fucking the fighter over. But I thought this sport, you told me it was about doing what was right. You know I won that fight. I know you won. But on paper, we just trying to make a bigger fight than what we have here. But we'll get back to you up the road. Just play the part, and we're going to look after you, okay? Don't buck the system right now. It's not time to go against the grain. Play your part, okay? Just be patient. We'll get you a title shot. In about 6 or 7 more fights, you'll get back on deck, all right? Don't go complaining. Don't go on social media talking ill about us, okay? We'll put you on the shelf, just like an old trophy. We'll leave you there. Don't fuck with us. JD in the building. What's good? I don't get how people are saying Crawford lost Turkey money when he's happy as hell with the outcome. That's all I'm saying when it comes to this shit, man. I'm just getting straight to the point. I need to see financial statements. You know what I'm saying? We need to see the financial statements. So when they go to analyze numbers all the time, Reggie, we just need a receipt so we can know that these details, and we get the notary stamp on there or something like that. These details are factual. Stop spreading the rhetoric through the YTC about numbers, and no one has paperwork on these motherfuckers. Where's the paperwork? We need paperwork, goddammit. We need something. That's all. We need some documentations to validate what you're putting out here to us. If you say it's 100K, show us. First of all, provide the source from where you gathered the information from. He said he was a successful YouTuber, and we wasn't successful because nobody watches you. Hey, man, at least he knows how to do lives on all terrains. You know what I'm saying? You for real, you need to step your game up, Shaw News. You need to start doing it on. I know you don't organize and put yourself inside something you pay for and dress it up professionally, but maybe you need to do it on top of a rooftop. You know what I'm saying? On somebody's roof. You know what I'm saying? Next to the street on the sidewalk, in the subway station. Go down to Penn Station, man. Start doing your live streams at Penn Station. You'll get a lot more views there with all the goddamn foot traffic too. Yeah, man, do that. Switch it up. Rumba in the Jungle in Zaire, one of the worst dictators in history. Who talk to him? I have the window to the past on deck. You know what I'm saying? The what they called not the locksmith, the guy they called in freaking The Matrix. Oh man, I forgot. He was the key something. He won the locksmith, I don't think. But yeah, that's what Bruce is. He has the key to the history, you know, the old school boxing and shit, man. Turkey doing what Al Heyman was doing, but he outside popping his shit on the front lines. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk too much about Al not showing up because it's some people out here that can vouch. They look, these cats that they talk about as if they actually seen Al doing business, and they haven't. They just know other people from little small sightings that he did. You know what I'm saying? Some people have actually seen Al, though. They can speak on it. But they don't want to talk about how much money he blew. But they want to talk about Turkey Al-Sheikh losing 10 million. How was it 10 million? What numbers are we basing that off of? What capita? Like what was the price to say it was 10 million? Based off what exactly? Where is the state? Somebody find the bank statement. Somebody go to the trash where Turkey Al-Sheikh was at the ATM machine withdrawing the funds to goddamn pay these fighters. I want to see the slip. Somebody get me the slip that Turkey was at the ATM doing, and you know, he probably did a balance inquiry first because he's tight on money now. Let me see, balance inquiry, PIN number 08. Let me see, 0803. Okay. Yeah, there we go right there. How much it is? 60 grand. Damn. I thought I was royalty. I only got 60 grand in this bitch. I need to call up, hey son, are you gonna afford me more money? I only got 60 grand. The fight card's gonna cost way more than that. That's not how it went, y'all. No. Hell, Turkey's making moves with the IFC now to make fights. Damn. I didn't know that. I mean, he's all over the place. And we're talking about boxing. See, he's all over the place. Oh, you mean the UFC? You must be talking about the UFC. Because I don't know who the IFC is, to be honest with you. You must have been talking about the UFC. My bad. You know, you must be talking about the UFC. Shout out to the Oracle Trick Note in the building. Turkey and his people will be co-promoting an event here in Houston with Roy Foreman September 28th. How can he be bad for boxing when he coming to my city? I don't agree with that. at all Turkey is a man. Man, salute to the ones who in the chat dropping that knowledge. Because what I always say, I enjoy being educated. That's the only way you're going to get smarter. Education doesn't have to come from an online course or you sitting down at a freaking educational institution learning. I mean, you learn from other people. How's 10 million? How are we going to sit up here and talk about this shit in a method of gossiping? And he's in all these other areas. Like he's doing regional cards now. He got UFC 306 popping off. You know what I'm saying? He's not just in boxing. So how the fuck y'all gonna try to narrow this down to him losing 10 million on Crawford? Man, y'all are ashamed. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself putting out that bullshit. And if there's an Al Heyman, let him talk for himself. Yeah, for sure. Let him talk for himself, man. If that interview ever is gonna happen, it's only the promoter who deal with Bud. This is sad with 2 D's. Hey man, you know how narrative pushes are out here, man. It's bad. It's a bad case of individuals that's unwilling to think for themselves, period. It's bad. Turkey's putting guys in the ring regularly. And if you win, you get a bigger fight quickly. Not one fight every 18 months. That's a fact. You know, talk to him, JD. You know, like the UFC. If you know you're a champion or you're a regular fighter, let's just say the champion, and you lose your title, they provide you opportunity to return to fight for your title again. Why don't y'all talk about the UFC finances? Wouldn't that help you out just a little bit more? Because they have a president. Boxing doesn't have a president. You know what I'm saying? They don't have all them sanctioning bodies in there. They don't. He said, Trick note that Bud loses the money, but that whole fight card combined purses was under 10 million. Man, brother for life, we need to talk. Thankfully, the one fool complaining about Turkey on YouTube. Turkey don't care about grifters on YouTube. Shout out to Peters on deck. Let these complaining clowns go back to the old days before Turkey started putting on these supercars. For sure, man. A lot of these cats really, I don't think they ever been to a big card. I don't think they ever really heard certain movers, certain important people conversing with one another. I don't think they ever got up in the morning and went to breakfast and talked boxing with some of these people that you see on TV. Real talk. I don't think they ever did. I don't think they've been there, you know, at these moments where you have a press conference and then it's over and then you have these talks because, you know, it's really nowhere to go. You know, your fighter got to make weight, of course, but you have certain people that's not involved with the card that's there. You get to talk boxing with them. Man, it's just so much knowledge you can get. You know what I'm saying? So much knowledge. When you want to talk about the business of boxing and certain things that happen. But hey man, shout out to everyone that was on deck. Shout out to Blue Hustle, man. Salute to you. I see you in the building. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF and game. I'm a little over an hour. Salute to everyone who showed up. Hopefully you learned something. I did. Until next time.